Okay.
Okay, so we're ready.
Okay, the meeting is called to order at 5:32 p.m. I'll have Debbie do roll call.
Right, Chair Emma Wood,
Present.
Vice Chair Jenna Biondolillo. Why can I never say? Thanks. Laura Herrera,
Present.
Cody Phelps.
Present.
We have Inglewood School Liaison Dwayne Tucker.
Present.
And excused, we have Kathleen Hammer and Councilmember Tina Crane. And staff, we have Director Christina Underhill, Deputy Director Parks and Rec Brad Anderson, Senior Services Manager Nancy Baum, Golf Manager Shannon Rhodes, Aquatics Manager Chris Davison. Oh, did I say Rhodes? Oh, I went way back in time.
Yeah, over 10 years.
Shannon Buccio. I even have Buccio. And Recreation Manager Sarah Stad. I am so sorry.
No worries.
That's like, oh.
You aged us, Debbie.
Are there any edits to the minutes from November 14th? No? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
So moved.
Do you have a second? Second. Okay. So those minutes are approved for November 14th. Do we have, oh, sorry. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, please say nay. Okay. Minutes are approved.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment tonight?
We do not.
Okay. Well, we can move to new business and do a Parks and Rec bond update.
All right.
I'll take that. Then
You want to
can
take
chip in
it?
too.
And I'll, okay,
Whatever.
sounds good.
So with the Parks and Bond, we're still super excited. I think we're still on cloud nine that it passed in November and everything. So we have been working pretty hard with getting things up and going, even though the bonds will not be put together until March. So we really can't do a lot of funding, but we're doing a lot of background work with it. We have designs right now going on for Cushing Park, for Emerson, and also Rotolo. So that stuff is moving on, so that when we do get the bond money, we'll be able to start those projects right away. We're continuing to meet also with designers. We've met with designers for Bellevue Park, also for Miller, and then also RFPs are being formed right now. We'll be going out probably at the end of the month for the recreation center upgrades, and then also for Pirates Cove. So by all means, you don't see a whole bunch, that there's a lot going on. We're also working pretty close right now with communications. They're working to have stuff up on the website, and then also there'll be an article, or a page that will be in the spring guide that will be out here, believe it or not, in February, mid-February. So that's what we're kind of doing.
There was a question at the November meeting about having one of the commission members on the internal steering committee, and we would love to move forward with that concept. The first meeting most likely will be end of February, early March, since there's not a lot we can do until we start everything in motion. So if you want to think about that, it'll probably be bi-weekly meetings. We'll have them in person and on Teams. So if one of you wants to attend, we don't know exactly what time. I'm guessing probably early afternoon will be the time frame, probably about 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Would be the meetings. So again, meeting bi-weekly, just to kick everything off. And then as we progress through the different stages of the projects, we may back those off to be every 3 weeks or once a month. So I don't need an answer tonight, but think about it, and we'll take volunteers in February, and we'll add you to the list. And we also should have new commission members in February, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be interviewing. They, as council, will be interviewing next Monday and Tuesday night for new commission members. So in February we'll have new commissioners as well. So we'll kind of go through more information related to the bond and the steering committee and what all of that looks like next month as a recap, so everybody's on the same page.
Sounds good. So I didn't think I heard you, Brad, or maybe maybe you didn't say it, but when are you expecting the first wave of funds to come in? And is it coming in waves or is it?
March, so the
March,
bond
okay.
sale happens in March.
Okay.
Once the bond sale happens, then the money gets released to the city
In full?
in full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
We just a lot of the projects first as far as the design component to be ahead of the game when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, any other questions on Parks Bond?
I don't know if this is gonna come up later in Parks projects, but how did the Cushing, public meeting go in December? Did it go well?
It was actually, we had a decent turnout, and got some really good feedback, and so, our design team is actually making some of the changes that were recommended, like, a pressure fine path around, the actual park side of it. Cause that was one comment, is there's not a lot of connectivity, with the sidewalks at Cushing Park, which is very true. There were some comments about the dog park, and maybe changing the type of fence that goes in. Right now, we're looking at a rail fence with, what do they call it? It matches the fence that's across the street in those apartment condos, but somebody said, why not just a chain link fence? So we're gonna look at cost and all of that. But yeah, there's some really good recommendations that we won't be able to necessarily address as part of the bond funding, because those bond funds were set for specific projects. But if for whatever reason we have funding available at the end, we have an a la carte menu that we'll have put together. So we might be able to establish some different improvements, whether it be at our facilities or in the park system. But yeah, it was a great meeting. And actually Jenna was there, so I don't know if Jenna, you wanna mention anything?
I was at the one for Rotolo, not.
Was it
Cushing.
Rotolo? Oh, dang it. Well, she came to the Rotolo one, thank you. Our running together, I figured this whole year is gonna run together that way too.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for attending that. And you guys are always welcome to attend, so we'll be sure you get the information for all of our public meetings, and we'd love to have the commission there. We did meet with one of the consultants today, and we did mention that probably as part of the Parks and Rec Commission meetings, regular monthly meetings, we may actually make them public meetings. So you'll be learning about the conceptuals turning into construction drawings and have your input during that as well, if you guys are up for that.
Are there any meetings coming up that we should be aware of?
Not immediately.
Okay.
No. But there will be once we get the bond funding
Sure.
and all these new contracts get released for the other parks. So
Yeah, okay.
it's gonna ramp up pretty quick.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we can move on to 2024 recap, 2025 look ahead.
So we have the managers, we had wanted them to come to this meeting, just to kind of give you a brief overview of what was accomplished in 2024. And then also they'll kind of tell you a little bit about their goals for 2025. And start with Shannon.
All right. I'm Shannon Buccio, the golf manager at Broken Tee Golf Course. Golf had a wonderful 2024 season. We're very pleased with the outcome. Our rounds of golf played were 78,262, and that's a 10% increase from where we were in 2023. So we're excited about that. We were excited also, we broke 2 records this year with driving range sales. We went over 500,000. We've never done that before that I'm aware of. I've been here since 2000, so that was very cool. And then we broke a record with our merchandise sales. We broke the $300,000 mark, and that's never happened either as far as I'm aware. So staff is doing great stuff to bring in great merchandise for people to want to purchase, and then the driving range is just so busy. It's very exciting to see. Another huge accomplishment that we're very proud of is we finally got our golf action plan developed and completed and approved. We had 2 outside consultants help us with some financial strategic planning, and then a golf architect that helped us with some course improvement recommendations. So we're very excited to start working towards that. And that will help us kind of guide us through over the next 5 to 7 years on projects that we want to do accomplish. Since we are an enterprise fund, we're going to have to manage those appropriately and make sure we have the funds to do those projects. And kind of just to tie in, one of our 2025 goals is now work on like a communication campaign that we can be transparent with our patrons, explain what an enterprise account is, roll out what those projects are and the cost, and hopefully if we have the funds to do so, they'll see what we want to do, and we have some conceptual designs that we'll blow up and share as well, so they can kind of see what the recommendations are. So that is very exciting for us to use that moving forward to make much needed improvements that have been a long time coming. So excited for that. Also we had some fun special events this year. We had 59 ladies join us for Women's Golf Day in June. That's kind of like a national-wide campaign that we're a part of, and we'll continue doing that. Celebrate Golf Day was in June. We had over 200 participants there. We've been doing that since about the year 2000, and we're going to probably do something different this year. We're kind of seeing the numbers decline, and so for 2025, what we decided to do is offer like an appreciation week rather than one day for Celebrate Golf Day, and we'll kind of have fun activities and specials for 7 days in a row to thank our patrons for being at Broken Tee and make that exciting. And then we had our second annual Superintendent's Revenge in October, and we sold out with 138 players, and that's just a fun end of the season event that everyone seems to enjoy. And we'll plan, hopefully, to continue that. Some other thoughts for 2025 special events is we might collaborate a little bit more with Wyatt's, our food and beverage concessionaire. They want to maybe do a fun, like a 9 and dine, like on Friday afternoons, maybe once a month or something, where we kind of have like a 9-hole fun little golf game, and then they can come into the restaurant and have food and drink there. So we'll work on that. And then also, as part of our Appreciation Week, we're going to collaborate with Wyatt's and our Learning Center as well to have them involved in it too with our patrons. And then some exciting like sustainability accomplishments that we were able to do. We purchased a robotic mower. It's emissions-free, fully electric. It mows 2.5 acres in 24 hours. That's been a huge, fun project to watch. He was on probation this year, but I think he's going to stick around. So we might do something fun and maybe have like a naming contest for him or something. He has a little dog house that we have up at the driving range that he drives in and out of, so it's pretty cool. And then the biggest thing, I think, we added turf logic technology, and that kind of has helped put like a scientific number to score to every square inch of maintained turf at Broken Tee. And so far, we've seen a 10% increase in turf health scores in 2024 with that technology. And then we're very proud of, we reduced our water usage by 15% based on the pump station output. And then also with that turf logic technology, sorry, I repeated myself. And then we were able to plant 4 Colorado spruce trees, and that's because we implemented a fun memorial tree program that we offer now if people want to purchase a tree. So that's going to help us add more trees to our property. And that was part of the golf action plan with our some recommendations that our golf architect laid out for us of where we could add trees to make the course more enjoyable. And then just kind of lastly, we invested about $20,000 in our irrigation system to help increase some efficiencies and reducing water usage. And then we invested $50,000 to replace and repair some cart paths that were in bad shape. And we'll continue to do that over the next 5 years as well. And then kind of just some fun things that we did was, I think everyone knows about our nesting eagles. So while we're excited that we had them, we're disappointed that they didn't have an offspring. However, they are building a nest. They started in December. They did move to a different hole, which will be, I think, a better location. We won't have to close part of the golf course down now because of that. So we're hoping that that is their nest. There's been talk about they built a decoy nest, so we'll find out, but they seem very active over there. And then we also have another eagle that has been hanging out on our property. So we have 3 eagles right now, so we're kind of excited with that.
It is good for pest control.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, keep those geese away. And then kind of also something that we introduced this year, we're finding that we have, with golf being so popular, we're getting more recreational golfers where they just want to have fun, enjoy, socialize. And we implemented a 7-iron rule, which kind of helps golfers pick the right tee box so they have more fun. So based on how they hit a 7-iron, it's a sign that kind of shares with them, this is what tee box you should be using. So we hope that people are using that and it makes it enjoyable for everyone playing. So kind of that's a nutshell. Any questions?
I have one. For your sustainability goals, are there public goals that you're tracking against, or is this just year over year what you're keeping track of?
Kind of every year what we're keeping track of. We're kind of getting more involved with the city's overall strategic plan. And so we're trying to do that. And our new superintendent, he's been with us for 2 full seasons now. He's into the technology and how he can make improvements and be more efficient.
Sure.
And it saved on labor costs too with things that we have a drone now that he purchased that he's been kind of testing, and that will narrow down and show where some turf or the bad quality turf, and then he can just water those parts with that drone usage. And then he just shared with me today that he's looking at now adding GPS and drone footage on our sprayers, so he can actually pinpoint and just have, like, if we're spraying herbicides or watering agents, it's just going to hit those areas that need it, not the whole course. Or like if we need to spray weeds, it's just going to hit those areas and not everywhere else. So a lot of fun, cool stuff out there in the golf industry now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shannon. Nancy?
Yeah, so my name is Nancy Baum. I'm the Senior Services Manager, and I work primarily out of Malley Recreation Center. And so I work with the 55-plus population of Englewood. And so in 2024, Malley had a really solid year. You know, a big part of Malley Recreation Center and my job is kind of bringing people together to be able to connect, get them out of their homes into the community, connect them to resources that they might need. And we do a lot of that at Malley. So we do a food program where we feed people Monday through Friday. That's through a grant-funded program through the Volunteers of America. And we get roughly 20 to 35 people per day, depending on what the menu item is for the day. It varies. And this year, we had a really solid year. We fed we served almost 5,000 meals to the community, to the 60-plus community, which is lovely. And we also, that program is really heavy on volunteer hours. So we actually have patrons who volunteer in the kitchen to serve the meals to the older adults, and then they stay and wash dishes and clean up. So we're really fortunate that we have those volunteers, and we had roughly almost 1,300 volunteer hours in 2024 serving those meals. So I do think the Volunteers of America Lunch Meal is one of the most important programs that we do because it's serving that basic need. Also, other things we did, we had a lot of fun, really fun events. So, and we did a lot of new events last year, about 9 new events. So one of those events was our senior prom. And it was a huge success. We had almost 300 people attend. We had a DJ. We had people show up in tuxedos and sequin gowns and dance the night away. So it was really a wonderful opportunity for them. And we do plan to offer that again at the end of the month. So we'll have the prom every year now. We were able to get almost 10 sponsors, and we have a grant to hire a DJ. So anyway, not to blather on about the prom. It's my favorite part. So anyway, like I said, just a big part of Malley is drawing people together to connect them. And so we do that through our fitness, programs, our arts and crafts, our lunch program, our, you name it. Everything at Malley is just really designed to pull people in and connect them together. That said, we are also working in 2025 to do an age-friendly action plan for the city of Englewood. And the goal being that we are serving more of the older adult population in Englewood. So with that said, my job is to really target some resources for that population. And I'm putting together an age-friendly action plan that will help address 6 key things in the city. And that is food security, nutrition, personal safety, cybersecurity, aging in place, and health and financial resources. So we are actually putting together an RFP right now to bring in a consultant to gather some data on areas in the city where we're not reaching people of this age and how we can pull them in, find out what resources they need, and then work to meet those needs. So that's a big plan for me, a big goal of mine for 2025. And then also just continue to offer these events that pull people in and excite them to be together. So that's kind of it for me. Kind of basic, but that's it for me.
Thanks,
Thank
Nancy.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah Stant. I'm the Recreation Manager at the Recreation Center. So 2024 was a pretty successful year. We've seen a quite great upward trend of the amount of participants we have, with that including our not only our fitness and our youth programming, but also daily users, including our annual pass holders. And so we're seeing an uptick in trends. You know, we have that big C word of COVID that really kind of hindered and kind of made people take a step back of what's a priority in their lives. And I think we've fully recovered from some of those folks that have stepped away from that. So we're pretty excited with the year we've had. We saw a lot more rentals, from our pool party rentals to our gymnasium rentals, all that kind of stuff. And some of that does include our pavilion rentals. The Recreation Center handles the financial side of that. So it was a very great year in terms of getting our numbers back up to pre-COVID numbers and beyond. We offer, as I think a lot of people know, a wellness insurance program. So folks, through their insurance, after a certain age typically, but anybody can get it really, they have free to them rec center access. So we saw about a 20% increase in WIP memberships this year. So kind of aligning with Nancy's thoughts of just making sure that our community is connected and they have the basic needs that they need, in health and mental health is huge on that. So
Like silver sneakers.
silver sneakers, yeah. Renew Active.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of new memberships sold. It was just great year. I think we got into some different markets than we've been in before. So our staff at the rec center, we host a few different events. We do a trunk or treat, a spring hop and shop. We do kids stage and movies in the park. And then a biggest event that we do is the Holiday Express. That's a more global department-wide event that we run. And we're constantly seeing more people every year. So I think we're meeting the needs of our community. That's ever changing. So we had some great success with our events this year. Farm and Train, we got a new train last year. So not only is it ADA accessible, which the smiling faces alone and seeing those kids and adults who have never been able to enjoy something like that, the smiles on their face made it all worth it, all the headaches. We had 2 baby goats born at the farm this year, which was, I think, Christina's highlight of the year for sure. So they were our little mascots for this year, and it was just really exciting. I don't know if we've ever had animals born at the farm. We have babies, but I don't know if they've ever been born there. So we had a huge year there, probably a benchmarking year of over 93,000 visitors to the farm in 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So 40,000 farm visitors, 50,000 train riders, 3,000 under twos, which is great because it's a cool place to go and you get to spend more than just the time that you're there. People utilize the park. Some people will come down from Pirates Cove when they're done. They splash around in the water down there. And the best part of that for us is seeing the generational use. So parents are really excited to bring their kids down, or grandparents who are excited to bring their grandkids down because they brought their kids down. So it was a really cool year, and just having the new train just really made it so awesome. Huge increase in revenue, I think, because we had an efficient train. And of course it aligns with this, sustainability of that. So we had some great partnerships with some groups like Developmental Pathways, which is for individuals with different abilities. So we had low sensory times at the farm. They sponsor all of our youth events to create comfortable spaces for people who have sensory issues, that kind of stuff. And then we did, for the first time, a Christmas in July down at the farm where they decked the farm out in Christmas in July. We had Santa come in his summer Santa gear, which was really fun. And then of course, the end of our year was the Holiday Express. We sell over 3,500 tickets and we sell out typically within 3 days of the event. So we actually just had a meeting today of how we can improve for the future. So we also had a partnership with the Colorado Center for the Blind as a part of the Holiday Express this year, so that all abilities can enjoy this event. So it was a great year. A lot of our success does go to the Scientific Cultural Fund District, where we get a lot of money to help support the developmental path, all just adding color to people's lives and just allowing them to experience things for low cost. On that, we received the grant for this year, and it's the biggest grant we've ever received from them. So we're able to, about $4,000 more than we ever have. So we're able to increase these offerings and just provide more cultural experiences for folks. So some other exciting things that have happened, we opened up, both Alley and the Rec Center opened up a coordinator position so that we're able to have a little bit more focus on some areas to better meet the needs of our clientele. We also offered a new pass sale. So we currently have a buy 25 multi-visit sale. And this year is the second year we've done this. And we've had on Black Friday weekend, we do buy one, get one half off. And we made $19,000 in 3 days on that sale. So, and then then in December, we do a buy one, get five, or buy 25, get five free. And we got another $16,000. So we got $36,000 in 3 months. So people want to be with us. And so super exciting, but not as exciting as 2025 will be. We will be celebrating our 40th anniversary of the Rec Center. So we are currently working on some ways to celebrate that. We're thinking like throwback pricing, some throwback logos, kind of stuff like that. We're infancy stage of that, so that will be in the spring. We might also throw that into the National Parks and Recreation Month celebration as well. We're adding a new event this year, well, a refocus event where we've had Trunk or Treat in the past, and we're going to move that to Bellevue Park and have a Haunted Express. So we're going to utilize the train for another event and just see where we can grow and change from that. We're going to add a wayfinding project at the Rec Center where we are, making people understand that like we have different spaces for different things that you need to do, and just adding some color back into the Rec Center, and that will include a new mural within the facility. And then we also offer a summer drama program, and it will be the 60th anniversary of the summer drama program this year. So it's going to be a big year for us. So
It's exciting.
I could probably go on, but I'll leave it.
Shoot, thanks.
Yeah, land that plane's a lot.
I didn't say it. Adrian was unable to make it tonight, so he apologized for that one, but I'll give you a quick update. What's been going on in parks as far as what we're celebrating in 2024. The Cushing Park construction drawings, those things came about. Bates Logan, phase 1 was completed with a new restroom and pavilion, so that is done. And then also Bellevue Park added 6 new solar lightings, and it came out pretty good to where we'll start incorporating some of those more in some of the other parks with some of the projects that we're doing too. Bellevue Park construction drawings were written up for a new pickleball courts that are up there. It's not by the neighborhood, it's way on the west side, so there won't be any impact with that one. And then Broadway medians, the construction drawings were done for those, and so we'll be moving forward in 2025 this year to complete a couple of those drawings, and that's going from Hampton up to Kenyon is where those will start off with, but there's plans right now to go all the way up to almost Bellevue with updating those medians and stuff, so that can add a lot of color, pop color. Sarah will be happy with the colors with those. Bellevue Park is, Sarah mentioned too, got the new train and stuff, so that was exciting and very well accepted by all of our guests. Solar trash and recycling receptacles were placed in various parks around the city. That money was funded by when you went to the grocery store and you forgot your bags and you paid 10 cents for that plastic bag. Some of that return came back to the city of Ingo, and that's what funded that project too. So it was a good thing when you paid that 10 cents for those bags. Also, new solar bench was placed down at the Bellevue Farm and Train area also. And then there was a camera that was installed at Little Dry Creek by the duck pond and stuff. That was done by Mile High Flood District. That allows staff and allows them to monitor the flow of water going across the trash grate. We had a lot of issues when it first opened up this past spring, as far as a lot of jamming with different types of wood and limbs and everything like that. So now we can monitor that and respond to that on a lot quicker basis too. And then Jason Park, we found out that there was a problem with people coming off of the ball fields and stuff, that it became muddy and stuff because of the use. We put pavers and stuff in there too, so that was a good part of it. So big improvement that we had with that area too. And then just to mention events too, events were very successful once again this year. Some of the ones that we had was the Inglewood Block Party that went on when we shut down Broadway for 2 blocks from Old Hampton down to Floyd. There was over 10,000 people that attended that event, so that one's successful, and we're already planning for next year's with that one. Other stuff that we had as far as special events too, Spring Market and Extravaganza event that happened up at Bellevue Park, and then Celebrate Inglewood went on, Sunset Concerts went on also. 4th of July, which is always a big bang for all the guests coming into it, it's like I threw that in there. And then also the holiday market and tree lighting that went on this past December to start off the holiday season. And so those are the big things that happened with the event stuff. So good time in parks and also events. We enjoyed it. Hey, Chris.
Any questions on all of that?
Yeah. Oh, not one. I was
Well,
ready.
I have a comment. I love the idea of a haunted express. And no, I also went to the Easter event last year, and I'm wondering if the train could be utilized in a festive way for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
We heard you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking to incorporate that too.
Okay.
So we had a lot of comments last year, especially about people with having the train open and stuff, so.
Yeah, I just like, it'd be like, you could use the whole park space if you just bring people over the creek a little bit.
Yep, exactly.
Very cool.
Good suggestion.
I'm sure you've already thought of it. Just reiterating from the public.
That's what we like to hear. That's why you guys are here, to give us those ideas to expand on that. Chris, bring us home.
Good evening, everyone. Chris Davison, Aquatic Manager. Aquatics is unique here with the city of Inglewood because, I think about this a lot where we tackle a bunch of different things. And so I always think about what we do comes from a standpoint in aquatics where we do education as far as aquatics is concerned. We do fitness as far as aquatics, and then we do leisure entertainment. So I tried to, I think with our accomplishments, try to highlight some of those different areas throughout the year. First off, with the education standpoint, we do everything education from learn to swim, and that's both in a group setting and as a private setting as well. So individuals, participants can engage in one-on-one where a group setting may not be appropriate or comfortable for them. So as far as 2024, we conducted almost 2,400 swim lessons throughout the course of the year, which was a successful year. We're continually looking to grow and find strategies to increase that amount. Space is always going to be the challenge in terms of how to do that. So one of the areas that we really want to try to maximize as far as next summer, as we talk about goals, not want to get too heavy, 2025 is Pirates Cove. Pirates Cove provides us the opportunity in the mornings prior to the facility opening to be able to do that. But certainly from an education standpoint, hoping with the 2,400, we're continuing to meet the needs, not only with the residents that are here, but also non-residents. We are getting a fair amount of non-residents that are coming into the city to engage in those learn to swim opportunities. As we kind of transition to the education standpoint, a little bit further down the list, we licensed 206 lifeguards this year. And that was between the two centers. And, you know, to piggyback on that, that resulted in us, when we opened Pirates Cove, we were fully staffed. And it was a great success, I think, with that. That was as opposed to last year where we were fighting and clawing through, I think, July to get to that. That fully staffed thing it really made for the success at the beginning of the year. So I mentioned that as far as the education because the lifeguard training class is not only a skill that they have to do their job, but it oftentimes results in them pursuing other opportunities, whether that's in the medical field, in the emergency services field, the teaching field. So we see a lot of success after the fact of people saying, hey, I'm going to school and I'm going to be a teacher, or I'm going to, you know, be a firefighter. So there's a lot of benefit to that I think we're doing a lot of community good by continuing to provide those opportunities for that job that is a win-win for us because we get to staff them over at Pirates Cove mainly. Some other things as we transition to Pirates Cove, we were open every single day last year. So some was a little bit as we got into August. We had, I think, a couple days that was right on the edge of that 65-degree day. There was one of those days out of the 86 where we ended up having to close early due to the weather, but certainly a successful day or a successful year with the 86 out of 86. 77,000 visitors visited Pirates Cove. Of that, 172 birthday parties we offered. And to give you kind of an idea of, in terms of when those are conducted, those are on Saturdays and Sundays only. So if we're doing the math, we're probably somewhere, 14, 15 weeks. Some of those weekends some of those weekends at the beginning of the year, we didn't offer birthday parties. Towards the end of the year with Labor Day weekend, we didn't offer those parties. We recognized the success we were having throughout the summer. When we got to the end of July, we extended those birthday parties because we were getting so many requests. So we carried on where we typically would tail off in August. Generally, a lot of it was due to the fact of staffing, being able to do that, but we did have the staffing around, we had the demand around, and so we were able to provide those. So 172 was really awesome to see. Kind of moving on a little bit further as far as Pirates Cove, we did, as far as programming, as we're going down things, sorry.
No. There.
We'll get into the operational start first. So this is the first year that we installed, decided on a concept. We have cabanas that are at Pirates Cove. Those are available for rent on a daily basis to where they get an exclusive space under some shade at a cost. Due to the demand of those, we entertained the idea, we actually installed luxury loungers. Luxury loungers is a little bit more of less than the cabanas. It's basically in the shape, it's kind of a clam shape where 2 lounge chairs can fit underneath. It added an additional enhancement in the park with shade, with kind of a guaranteed spot to do that. And with the addition of that, that was a huge success for us, hitting right off the ground. I think in total, 384 reservations were made with those luxury loungers, bringing us revenue of about $19,000. So that was a real positive. So essentially with the cost that was associated with that, we made back all of our money with the cost to do the installation and the equipment. So from this point forward, it's 100% revenue. So really excited to hear about that. As we know, like we were mentioning with the bond earlier, Pirates Cove is in need of some additions and some enhancements. One of the other things that we're also trying to do is making sure that we're doing some preventative maintenance with some of our existing amenities that we had. So at the end of the season, the yellow slide at Pirates Cove underwent a repaint. to address some of the cracking and chipping that was going on with the paint, the exterior paint of the slide. And then in addition to that, the same company that went out and performed the work as far as painting, it was able to go in and make minor repairs on all 3 slides, as well as recaulking all the joints. So a lot of good maintenance to keep the life span of those slides up and working. So those are some big projects that we had. The other things that we have going on at Pirates Cove, if you haven't attended, I invite all of you guys to come to this. Our signature events that we have over at Pirates Cove is Adult Night. Adult Night is generally every other Wednesday, beginning late June, taking us into August. This last year, we hosted 3 out of the 4 adult nights that we had scheduled. The last one was getting ready to go, and then the sky opened. So we did have to cancel the last one, but regardless of that, 1,500 tickets were sold out of those 3 days. The other part of this too is that we partner with a local brewery to come and provide beer on site for individuals that are 21 and over. In addition to that too, got a lot of feedback because we were selling out those events. As we get into 2025, I'll kind of speak a little bit more on kind of what we're planning to do as far as adult nights. Last thing that we're talking about is in terms of fitness for Inglewood and aquatics. We've added some additional classes, fitness classes that we have. We've offered some new deep water aqua fitness classes, and a new aqua dance was introduced. We have one of our staff members, his name's Kyle, very dynamic individual, and the participants absolutely adore him. So he decided to take on that class, and it's a lot of fun. So they have a great time, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughing. So definitely a successful class edition. And then the last edition that we had from 2024 was we have an age group swim team, which is our Tidal Waves team. They compete in the Colorado Association for Rec Athletics, CARA, and they go throughout the course of the year where they compete in meets. They have swim team practices that are going on. This kind of been in the making in terms of trying to build up this program. We had certain individuals that were in there that were a little hesitant of wanting to come into the program, saying, I want to be a part of the swim team. I want to get engaged in this, but I don't know if I want to go attend all these meets. And so based on some of that, we decided to offer a junior tidal waves class, much like a bridge class from our Learn to Swim program, to our swim team, that give them the opportunity to do a lot of the similar things that the swim team was doing without necessarily the pressure of being on a swim team and having to compete. So the benefit of that's been successful that we've had with that program. We've actually had now kids that are taking that said, okay, I'll give this a try now. They've transitioned to the swim team. So as of now, we just started our 2025 team. We have 7 new individuals. So that's a good positive for that. So we're looking to continue to grow that program as well. Moving on to 2025, as far as goals that we have. So this, at the end of 2024, we hired a consultant to take part in a Pirates Cove First strategic plan. So this consultant is owner of several water parks nationwide. So this gentleman came in and went through a 2-day retreat of sorts to kind of start that motor running, to really identify really a holistic view of Pirates Cove. One of the areas that we've seen over the years that has trend is we've started to see the attendance decline as a result of likely the aging, of the park, potentially the cost that was increasing, and so there's a couple of different variables that were occurring with that. So we've set some benchmarks through that strategic plan, or the early stages of that. One of that is increasing attendance. 5% is one of our goals for this year, as well as increasing some of our revenue that gets generated both in our concession area and our pro shop, our treasure chest. Some of the other things that we're also trying to be able to do is to enhance our user experience and really try to beef up and identify season pass and really celebrate those individuals that are committing money towards visiting us for the entire summer. So we did a couple promotions as a result of that, one being a Black Friday sale. And then we decided, hey, since we're doing a Black Friday sale, let's just continue on, some sales opportunities. So we continued that on throughout December and has extended itself from January through April. So back in November and December, we got $5,800 in sales of season passes, which has been a huge benefit for us for 2024. So we're hoping to get that continued success through 2025. The other thing that we're doing as far as adult night, and we talked about, or with Pirates Cove, is we talked about adult night. It's gotten popular and to the point where it's no longer kind of a local event to attend. We're getting a lot of regional interest in that. We're getting individuals all the way from Fort Collins that are coming down and taking part in this event. And so based on the feedback and kind of what we've seen with the numbers, we're going to be increasing our attendance for those events. And then in addition to that, we've added a 5th night for the summer. So really excited to bring that to the community in that regards. Finally, some enhancements that will be in goal setting for that. As far as Pirates Cove again, once again, we have some aging equipment that we're looking to replace. That's a lot of this stuff is going to be something that the public doesn't see, but is necessary to the operations, boilers, some other components with our circulation system. So we'll be addressing those prior to the summer to make sure that we reduce or just eliminate our downtime. So that's all we have.
Just a couple things.
Just a couple.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, that was a lot. Any questions for Chris or anyone else who presented?
I do have invites to the prom here, not that you need an invite, but
Yes.
please come. And you
Oh my
guys, just
gosh.
so you know, you're welcome to come to all the
I'm gonna share this with my neighbor.
Yeah,
She has a
please
boyfriend.
do.
No,
Nice.
we do
yeah.
have some love connections at Valley if anyone's looking.
We do.
Whoa, so
Yes.
close. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Parks project update, I think you covered that, Brad, for
No, there's a
Adrian.
couple other things. So I'll
Okay,
just
go
talk
for
real
it.
quick
Yeah,
on
let's
that.
move.
So a couple of things, as I alluded to, the old things that are going on too is the design planning and construction planning that's going on for Cushing Park, Emerson, and also Rotolo. That continues. To give you an update on Bates Logan, like I said, that phase 1 has been completed. We're in the middle of phase 2. The playground is up, and if you haven't drove by Bates Logan, take a look. The playground is awesome. I mean, it is so cool that's there. So that's been completed. The weather came in, so we were unable to complete the basketball court. As soon as that comes up, we'll be able to do that. Then also there was some problem with a lot of the walks that were poured, that it didn't follow the standard that was set. So they have to tear those up and then redo the walks that are around that area. So, and then just to remind you guys too, that phase 2 and phase 3 are going on at the same time. So in order to open up a little bit sooner, so we're still hoping that by midsummer, hopefully we'll be able to open up Bates Logan as long as the weather cooperates with us. So that's what's kind of an update with parks.
Okay. All right, anything else on that? Okay, we can move on to staff's choice.
I don't think we have anything else to add.
That was pretty
other than-
exhaustive.
Yeah, that's a
One
lot.
time maybe.
Do you have anything, Brad? Okay.
I'll share something feel-goodish. So I recently partnered with the ZAG project. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They have an amazing mission. Their mission is to encourage pops of joy in the community. It's kind of lovely. Anyway, so I met with them the other day and said, we'd love to partner with you to bring some joy into the Malley Center. And so they're very excited to help us with the prom, but also they plan to do some random acts of kindness at Malley. So bring in bouquets of flowers to hand out to people randomly, offer some music during our lunch that we provide, and just surprise people with different lovely things. So that's kind of a feel-good thing we could end on. I thought I'd share. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now is for Commissioner's choice. So Is there anything you guys want to share? While getting ready for the March meeting, I think. We're saving our commentary for then. And anything from you?
I guess I'll make one thought that I've had recently, and I'm sorry if I already mentioned this in our last meeting. It's been a while since we last met. But with the rec center improvements, I think excited about the hot tub, but and I know that the budget's pretty set for the bond, but if there is any leftover funds, it could be interesting to look at the feasibility of adding a cold plunge along with the hot tub, just because those seem to be really popular now, and that in combination with the sauna could be, I think, a popular draw to the rec center.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, they are very popular. A lot of places are putting them in. So we'll take that in and we'll look at that when we go to design and stuff and see location where we could do that one. And also if funding's available, we can do that one. There's a couple of other things we have listed on there as far as optional things we want to do too, but I'll add that to the list for sure. Good idea. Thanks.
Dwayne, do you have any updates from the school?
Yeah, thank you. So the big thing we're working on right now is we are evaluating sort of the long-term model for our middle schools. As you know, we now have 2 different middle schools. They're housed in the same building on our tech campus, but we're evaluating the long-term model we're going to be using for the schools. We're evaluating sort of keeping things the same, maybe separating the schools a little bit more, or even up to combining and merging the schools. So for those of you that have children in the district, or they will at some point, attend our middle schools, we're having a town hall next week. We're going to be giving a whole bunch of information around the impact study of all those different options. So if any of you are interested in that, would encourage you to attend the town hall next week. It's going to be in the library at the high school. So the date is, I think it's the 15th. Yeah, it's the 15th at 6 o'clock, and that's at the library at the high school. So if anybody wants to attend, we'd love to see you there. And that's the big thing we're working on.
Hey, Dwayne, I heard that the schools were testing some kind of a text message system regarding safety and communication with students following all that stuff for semester. Do you have an update? Can you elaborate on what that is?
Yeah, so for those of you that, if you remember, we had about a 10-day period last year toward the beginning of the school year where we had several false alarm threats that were called in. Unfortunately, they were all false alarms and nothing happened, but we made a few changes based on that around some of our response protocols. We tightened up some of the conversations with Inglewood PD on response and communication protocols. We had a couple missteps around that, but what you're referring to is we added a new emergency testing system, and it was tested this last Saturday. So far so good. I think there's going to be another round of tests, and then there should be some more communication coming out about that.
Okay. Anything else for Dwayne?
No, unless you, I could talk for an hour about our schools if you want me to. I will repeat, I think I told you all last fall that from the previous school year, we have been working really hard on our academics and performance and growth and things like that. And we had 6 of our schools were actually rated at the highest level as performance. We just got some early indications from our most recent round of testing, and the numbers are even better than they were last year across most of our schools and most of our grades and most of the academic categories. So we'll continue to do really good things around academic achievement and growth. So I'll just brag a little bit about that, and you should probably cut me off now because I'll just go till 10.
It's a good note to end on. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last call. Okay, well, with all business concluded, the meeting is adjourned at 6:26 PM. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you guys.
Sure, we've taken on some
Would you?
decorating.
Yeah.
Yeah.